Hey guys, it's Winter and welcome back to my channel. Today we are building a A-frame home that is a lot more minimalistic than the builds that I usually do. It's very neutral in color scheme. Like there's barely any color at all. And it also has like a cute little greenhouse area and a little like reading corner. So yeah, I think this is a really cute build. I was super excited back when I did it. It's been a long time since I did this build though. I think I built it back in June. I'm currently doing the voiceover for it right now. It's August 9th as I'm doing this voiceover, and you're probably wondering, wow, that's actually a really long time away from when you're going to see this or when you're watching it right now. And that's because I'm pre-recording a bunch because I'm going to be going back to college late August. So I want to have some videos up and ready because I won't be streaming anymore now that I'm going to be in college, or at least I highly doubt that I will be capable of streaming while I'm in college. And I wanted to still give content and like be able to hang out with you guys and interact with you in some way. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna try pre-recording a little bit and see if we can get some videos in while I'm, away and whatnot. So yeah, I apologize if a lot of the voiceovers you guys hear are a little bit outdated or are very repetitive. I just don't know what videos are gonna come out first, and I have no idea. I've like got 4 or 5 videos pre-recorded right now, and I don't know which ones are gonna come out come out first. So the voiceovers might be a little bit repetitive. I genuinely don't remember what I've said in some of them, so I really do apologize if they get a little bit tedious or super annoying to like hear the same thing over and over again. But yeah, so that's why if you guys hear anything you're like, wow, this is a long time ago, it's because I'm pre-recording. So I actually built this back when the book Nook kit, yeah, right? I think I built this back when the book Nook kit had come out somewhat recently. I've like been on a huge hiatus from The Sims up until the Horse Ranch pack came out, which is very recent. Like the Horse Ranch pack, I believe, came out a couple of weeks ago or something. And I'm only just now looking at it. Like I said, it's August for me when you guys are watching this video. So that kind of brought me back to The Sims, but prior to that, I really haven't touched The Sims that much. I don't know, man. I got kind of bored of it. I've never had like a huge Sims break before. So this was, well, that's not true. Actually, I have had huge Sims breaks before because I've been playing The Sims since Sims 2, but I took a huge break between Sims 3 and Sims 4. I didn't touch The Sims for years, actually, up until Sims 4 had come out. So that's not true. I have definitely taken breaks from The Sims before. But I don't know. I haven't been having fun on Sims lately. I think I've been on a bit of a Valorant obsession, a bit of a Dead by Daylight obsession. I've had a lot of random gaming obsessions recently that have just been more interesting to me than The Sims. So I haven't really touched The Sims that much up until now, where I'm trying to pre-record a bunch of videos for you guys, and up until the Horse Ranch pack. I don't know why I said that so weirdly. Up until the Horse Ranch. I cannot say Horse Ranch for the life of me. I haven't played The Sims that much since until the Horse Ranch pack came out. And that's because I love horses. I've always wanted horses in The Sims, so I'm super excited that they actually created a pack for it. I genuinely haven't touched any of the gameplay yet. Um, but I'm hoping it's cool, and I'm gonna be playing it on Twitch. And I've already done a couple of like really cute ranch builds, so I'm excited. But yeah, so this is like me re-entering my Sims era in hopes that I can upload some videos while I'm in university. And I'm kind of hoping that I'll still be able to play video games while I'm in college, but obviously I'm not trying to worry about that, because I want to focus on my school and my classes. But gaming has become kind of massive in my life in comparison to what it used to be. Like I used to quite literally only play The Sims. Um, and maybe Planet Zoo. Planet Zoo, The Sims, Jurassic World Evolution. These were the type of games that I played for the longest time, and I never ever was a part of like a gaming community or anything like that up until I took my break from classes. And well, that's not necessarily true actually. I believe for the longest time I think really sheltered with like gaming communities and things like that. Even with The Sims, like I never interacted with like Sims Twitter. I wasn't a big social media person. So I didn't even really know that Sims Twitter was like a thing. I barely knew or like watched Sims videos up until high school. And again, I've been playing The Sims since Sims 2. So I've been playing since I was a kid, but I just had no idea people made content for it up until I was in high school. And so that's when I started watching people like Deligracy and Sim Supply, or well, James Turner now, but formerly Sim Supply, and like Little Simsy and things like that. And I think late in college, I was like, I kind of want to make YouTube videos because I was interested in watching them all the time. And I started like wishing that I could show my builds to somebody. I didn't have any friends that played video games like in real. Well, that's not true. I had friends that played in real life, but I didn't have any friends that played like The Sims in real life. And so, um, or like I didn't have any friends. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Like I didn't have any IRL friends, like non-online friends that played The Sims. And so that's when I sort of started doing YouTube videos, and from making YouTube videos, that's when I got onto Twitter, and Instagram, and I like found Sims Instagram and like Sims Twitter, and it was like a whole new world, bro. But prior to doing that, I'd pretty much never talked to people online or like made online friends or like gaming friends and things like that. And when I took my break from college, that's kind of really when it started getting or like when I started getting more immersed into like gaming and like the gaming communities and things like that, because I started streaming. And when I started streaming, I met a bunch of really, really cool people. Like again, I started out as a Sim streamer. I played like my time at Portia, but once long ago, like 2 years ago or something, or maybe only has it only been a year? I feel like it's been 2 years, but maybe I'm wrong. But a long time ago, I was like part of this Discord for like streamers, and I found some streamers that I just became friends with, and that's when I started playing games that were non-Sims related, things like Dead by Daylight. I think Dead by Daylight was really the first game I ever played that wasn't like a simulation game. So, well, actually, no, I might have played. No, I think I did start with Dead by Daylight and then Back for Blood, and then slowly Valorant as well. So, yeah, it was like a slow immersion into other gaming, or another slow immersion into other games. And because of that, I met a lot of other people, and I started playing a lot of people, and I've become really, really good friends with a lot of people online. And if you had told me like 3 years ago that I was super close to people online, I'd be like, you're crazy. Because I guess I just didn't really expect that you could become really close friends with people you meet online. I think that was always like a weird. I think if you had told me that a couple of years ago, I would have been like, that's kind of weird that like you have like friends online rather than just having like friends in person. But having friends now, I'm like, wow, these guys are so cool, and like it'd be really sad if I like didn't know them and wasn't friends with them. But I think younger me would have thought that you can't get close to people online or like make really good friends online, and that is so untrue. um but yeah, I don't how did we get on this conversation? I don't even remember what point was I trying to make here. Well, that I guess now I've told you like my journey on to how I got into gaming. But oh, I was talking about how gaming's become a big part of my life. So yeah, like I'm going back to college now, and part of me is like, damn, gaming has become such a big part of my life because I spend so much time doing it, and I spend so much time like hanging out with people. It's not even like about like playing video games. It's just like I'm so used to having like online friends that I talk to a lot. And so I feel very like scared to go back to uni and like have like a whole new schedule, and I'm like, dang, I'm not gonna be able to see my friends as much anymore. Obviously, I'll have friends IRL, but like I think you get used to talking to certain people every single day, and you're like, wow, it's gonna be so weird not hanging out with them every single day, or maybe not being able to hang out with them as much as you used to. So it's going to be interesting going back to college. And that's why I'm saying I kind of hope I'll still have time to game, but I really don't want to mess up my priorities because I am fully capable of like getting distracted. Especially with like work stuff. I'm a huge procrastinator. I've never procrastinated to a point where it's been bad. Like I've never like missed an assignment or like not studied for a test or something, but I've definitely cut it really close a couple of times. And so that's why I'm like I really just want to keep my head straight and like focus on what I need to, because I'm 1000% capable of like losing my head and like getting distracted and not doing the work that I need to do, which is crazy because I'm pretty disciplined like in other aspects of life. Like I'm very good at like keeping time, and I'm like very good at keeping like schedules. In fact, I'm a very like schedule-y person usually, but I don't know why with work. I think I just sometimes I'm like I don't want to do it. Or if I get stressed out about stuff, then it's just like becomes this like daunting task, and you like keep thinking about it, but then you don't want to do it because you're like stressed out about it. But if you just did it, you would not be stressed out about it, and then it's, I don't know, it's a whole process. But yeah, so I'm like fully capable of being a big procrastinator. So I'm like trying to keep gaming away because I know that I could probably very easily get distracted with like stuff when I should probably be doing work. But I'm hoping that I can like keep some gaming in. I think I used to play Sims when I was in college anyways, but I just didn't play it as much because I definitely remember I kept up with YouTube videos and stuff like that. So, I'll probably still be able to play Sims and like post videos for you guys in my free time, but as far as like streaming and like making variety content or like doing collabs, that probably will not be happening. I guess I should also explain to you guys because some of you guys haven't been here for very long, or maybe are new. Just to explain, I started university back in 2019. I was a freshman, but as you guys know, COVID hit in 2020. So what happened is my first semester of freshman year was in person and like completely normal. But then the pandemic became a thing. I don't know why I said that so weirdly either. The pandemic became a thing, and because of that, my second semester of my freshman year was forced to be online. We had to like leave in the middle of March to go back home. And so I was online for all of my second semester freshman year, and I was also online for all of my sophomore year. I was online my sophomore year due to choice. It was like given as an option. However, in fairness, the university was like you could come back to campus, but your classes were still online anyways, so you were kind of going, it was like a hybrid thing. Like you could, a lot of classes were online, and then some things that were like useful to be in person, like labs and stuff, were still taught, or you could choose to just be completely online. And at the time, I chose to be completely online because it felt like a huge waste to like go to campus just to like take online classes in a dorm. And I also like get sick really easily, and I was like, I don't want to deal with it. And like the university was struggling a lot with like having workers, and so like the dining halls were always really filled, or they were like super packed and like behind, or even they started having like Wi-Fi issues. They just had issues with like keeping workers and like keeping the university upkeep, I think. So I just was like, I don't really want to deal with it. I'd rather not be like a guinea pig, and deal with like some weird hybrid semester. So I decided to be online for all my sophomore year. However, I kind of hated it. Being online is not fun. If you guys don't know, I'm an engineering student. And so learning engineering online is not fun. Doing labs like online is not fun. And so I kind of was over it, and I was like, I think I'm just going to take a bit of a break, like a little mental reset from uni. And in the meantime, I was like working on my mom's stuff. And so I was still like being proficient and useful and stuff, but I was just taking a break from university to kind of reset my mental, because I was a bit over being I was a bit over like the online aspect. And even when I think they like went fully in person my junior, well, it would have been my junior year, but I took a leave of absence instead. And I also didn't want to like go back and like have to deal with them like deciding their changes, and like again, like it just, I didn't really want to deal with like being the guinea pig on like a very peculiar situation. So I was like, I'm going to take a break and be productive in other aspects of my life in the meantime. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. And now I'm going back after 2 years. I'm taking my leave of absence off and readministrating and going back and finishing my junior and senior year of uni, which I'm super excited about. But it also scares me a little bit because it's just been so long. So yeah, that's the explanation for what I mean when I say when I was in college. I didn't like leave college or anything. I just took a leave of absence. I was still considered like a student. I was just not an active student. So, yeah, that's what I mean. And that's like the backstory for what I'm talking about for those of you who may or may not be lost. But, anyways, back to the build. So, this build, like I said, was inspired by, or I think I said, I've sort of done this voiceover a couple of times. I really can't remember what I've said. But this was inspired by the Book Nook kit. And I just kind of really felt like doing something super neutral. And as you guys can see by this build, it is very, very like blacks, grays, whites, maybe some like natural browns and like light wood tone. It's a very, very, very basic build. I didn't want to add a whole lot of color. I actually really like things like this. I don't know if I would ever want to live in a house this white and bland. Or like not white and bland, but like colorless. But I do really like how it looks in pictures and like in The Sims. I think it's such a nice aesthetic. So yeah, especially because sometimes The Sims has terrible swatches anyways. This room I did make a little bit more colorful that we're watching right now. I think the theme is a little bit more blue, but again, it's still super neutral, calming, and like it's just not a lot. The colors are not overbearing. They're very passive colors. So yeah, I think the favorite part about this build, honestly, was obviously the greenhouse is my favorite, but I also really like the idea of having the upstairs area being the living area. Obviously, usually when you do houses, at least in America, you have like all the living areas on the first floor. I think, at least all the houses I usually see have like the kitchen and dining and living all in the first floor, and then the second floor it would have like bedrooms. But in this case, we did like a split living situation where the kitchen is downstairs and the living room is upstairs. And I actually think it looks super nice. I really like this floor plan. I don't know if it's super conventional, but it's really pretty. And I love the way the living room looks. I am struggling to speak today. I really like how the living room looks, and I really like the little lounge chair and all that kind of stuff. I think this house I just really like the way this house turned out, honestly. It's been a while since I've done an A-frame home. I don't really remember what inspired me to make an A-frame home, but I'm glad I did it because it looks really, really cool. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to check how much longer we have for the voiceover before the timing ends because I don't want to like overspeak. I believe we have 5 more minutes of voice left, but yeah, so I was just wanted to check before I like start another story and go on a rampage and then we're in like screenshots and my story hasn't ended. But yeah, so this room is like super neutral as well. There's just a little bit of color. I really wanted to have a blue accent wall, but I wanted the blue to be the same color as that bed and it like wasn't possible. The outside, I wanted to add a little pond because I love, first of all, Windenburg. This is Windenburg if you guys aren't aware. Windenburg is so beautiful, and I feel like it's honestly the best world to like play around with terrain and like add ponds because it just suits the world so well, and you could add like slopes and things like that. I feel like a lot of the worlds we have are very, very flat. Obviously, this world is pretty flat as well, but the terrain is still has some like slopage to it, and it's like it looks more organic. So I really love building in this world because it's just a very nice place to kind of play around with terrain and like add stuff that maybe might look out of place. Like if I were to add a pond in say like Newcrest or Willowcrest, I think it would look kind of out of place. But in Windenburg, because this is more rural, I can never say that word. Okay, we're not going to talk about it. But because it's like not in the middle of a city or a neighborhood, it looks a lot nicer and it like fits having a pond and stuff like that. So we did add a pond here, and then I believe we add some gardening spots to do some more gardening. I didn't really want to overdo the like exterior, so it's very, very simple, plain, clean. There's not like a ton of activities to do outside. There's not like a grill or, well, there is a grill, but it's on the patio upstairs and not in this like open area. The open area is quite literally just another place to garden because I feel like if you have a greenhouse, you probably also want to have places to plant outside. That's how I usually play The Sims. I have like an interior and exterior, and I use the interior to move my plants around because I'll keep them on the outside, and then when the seasons change, I tend to move them inside the greenhouse. Although sometimes it glitches, which I find super crazy and annoying. And it'll be like, no. And it'll like completely revert back your plants. I don't know if they ever fix that. It's been, like I said, it's been really long since I played the game, but that used to drive me bonkers. That like you could move a plant and sometimes it just completely reverts back to being a seed. But yeah, so the interior and exterior are very simple, plain, and I just really like this build. I was showing him it. Well, I built this on stream, I believe, and my mod was watching me build it, and she loves exteriors and like really calm, peaceful, neutral interiors. She likes things to be a little bit more minimalistic, and so she really liked this build, and I was like, this is a certified Nixie build right here because I think sometimes she's not as big of a fan of some of the things I do in my builds because I lately really like experimenting with different colors. And like I think a lot of people would sometimes be like, why would you ever pick that color? But I've been playing The Sims for like, I don't even know how long this thing has been out, like 8 years or some shit. Probably longer than that, right? I don't know. But I've been playing this game for a long time, and like after a while, you get tired of using the same swatches all the time. So I've like on and off experimented with other colors that maybe aren't the prettiest, but I like try to make them work. And you'll see that in the lake house build. I don't know if that video is going to be uploaded before or after this one, but if you watch my lake house build, there's like this really gross green color that I use. And originally I wanted the lake house to be blue. But I was like, we always do blue. We can't do blue. You know, I had a little bit of a little Simsy moment where I was like, we can't keep making everything blue because I use the same color scheme and like the same colors all the time. I was like, I want to do something else. So I used this like base game green color and it's kind of gross, but I tried to pull it off. And there's also a red gym, but the red gym was not my choice, okay? The red gym was Coot's choice. And if you guys don't know who Coot is, he's my Val duo. And so he made the decision to have a red gym and it's gross, but like whatever. So yeah. But yeah, so a lot of times I like experiment with colors that I think she kind of hates. um, but I don't know, man. I like experimenting with colors. I don't have an excuse. I think they look cool. I think my style would not be everyone else's style for sure, though. Maybe? I don't know. I don't even really know what my style is because I think I like a lot of designs and like I'm not super picky in terms of like what looks good. I like everything, man. I really do, but then I'm like, what do I like for myself? That I haven't decided yet because I like a lot of things, but I'm like, what would I want my place to look like? And I genuinely have no clue. I think I made a long time ago I made like an apartment for myself in The Sims and I was like, okay, if I was going to make an apartment, what do I make it look like? And it turned out being blue and pink, man. I don't even know how, because originally I was like, okay, what if we do like a more modern farmhouse with like some neutral colors and just kind of keep it white? You know, kind of like what this house, I mean, this house is not modern farmhouse, but this like color scheme of like neutrals, wood tones, that was like my original idea. And then when I actually went in and built the house, it ended up being pink and blue. And I was like, well, I don't know what happened here, but okay. So, yeah, I haven't figured out what I want for myself, but I do like a lot of different styles. But anyway, so we are getting at the end of this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about my build. And yeah, I apologize again if you guys end up hearing a lot of things like over and over again within the next few videos, because again, I'm pre-recording. I don't always remember what I say, and I have to give this huge disclaimer that I'm pre-recording, so you're gonna hear that a lot within the next few videos, and I'm so sorry about it. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. As always, if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, hit the subscribe button. And if you really like me and want me notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that bell button. I will see you guys next time. And I will see you guys next time.
Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, slow.